I say that my writing is influenced by three things. It's my imagination, my life experiences, and my faith. I'm a big fan of Star Trek. That's always been a big influence in my own writing. I read a lot, I watch a lot, I try to take inspiration from other things. In terms of my experiences, I remember my parents, when they took their first cruise, I was really captivated by that idea. I really wanted to do a cruise myself. And I've since taken my family on two cruises, but at the time that was just a bit of a dream. But because I'm this big Star Trek nerd, and Star Trek was heavily influenced by the US Navy, but also by the sailing ship adventures like Horatio Hornblower. Whenever I hear about anything nautical, my mind always goes, but what about that, but in space? When my parents were taking this cruise, I immediately started to think, what about a cruise ship? But instead of going through the ocean, taking to other countries, it took you to other planets. That was the big inspiration for the premise of my Duel of the Stars series.
Mm.
While I was writing that first book, I was going through some things in my life. I was made redundant at work, which is a really scary experience. So I gave that as a backstory to one of my characters. She just lost her job, hadn't worked up the courage to tell her family yet on this cruise, which they'd already paid for, so might as well go on it. That led to some interesting conflict. Yeah, I say that I write stories about ordinary people in fantastical situations. So another one that I was working through in my life at the time was struggling with how to effectively be the parent of an autistic child and the different unique challenges that brought. So that was another character trait that I gave this character. So these kinds of real world things I try to put into my stories. I say we often come to these kind of stories for the spaceships and the aliens, but you stay for the human drama because that's what fiction is really about. It's about people.
The characters. Hmm.
And then the most important one, I guess, is my faith, because that's such an important part of my life and who I am. I'm not writing specifically for a Christian audience. My audience is actually split pretty much 50-50 between Christians and non-Christians, which is a pretty cool situation, I think, to be in. But because my faith is a big part of me and my worldview, it's naturally going to worm its way into my stories. What I am actively trying to do is to give, I guess, an accurate and positive depiction of what I think a Christian really is. Because what we often see in fiction today, especially in science fiction, often they'll just, you know, religion and Christianity will be completely ignored as it's not in that world at all. Or if it does exist, it'll often be a fairly negative stereotype in the way that the Christians are portrayed.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to show, well, here's what I think a Christian is.